Hi friends, it's Terri Gaines. In this video tutorial, I'm going to share my Penguin Snowy Scene holiday card. This card is created with the Snowy Scenes 12 by 12 Designer Series paper. This paper is so cute. It's great for so many of your paper crafting projects. On the back side, you have background prints. On the front side, you have these really cute snowy scene designs, some holly and berries, snowmen, these adorable penguins. I'm going to be using this for the card and these snow globes. Now this does coordinate with a bundle. The bundle has 20 stamped images. 3 of them are sentiments, a background, and all of these images can be cut out with the dies. You have some additional dies, including some snow globe dies. The same base is used for both globes. And the beauty of this is you can use some of the dies to cut out the Designer Series paper. There's one 12 by 12 sheet. You get 2 each in the packet that cuts out, the dies cut out all the snow globes. You can cut out the penguins that do not have a hat or earmuffs. You can cut out the snowmen that don't have the hat on. And then there's some trees you can cut out. So it's very versatile. For my projects, I'm just using this Designer Series paper, and I'm going to be fussy cutting out the penguin. I'm also using the Take a Bow 6x6 Designer Series paper. This is double-sided. You get 4 different double-sided designs. They coordinate with Garden Green, Granny Apple Green, and Real Red. And you get 12 each in a packet, so you get 48 sheets in the packet. I am going to be using, for the card I assemble in the packet, I'm going to be using this design, and I'm going to be using Real Red for my card base. Now the beauty of this is you can choose whichever color you prefer for your coordinating color, and Stampin' Up has ink pads and a variety of different other products that coordinate with these colors. So let's talk about the Designer Series paper before I talk about the rest of the cardstock. So this is 6x6 in size, as I mentioned. I'm going to maximize this and cut my strips in 1.5 inch strips. I'll turn it over so I can get 4 of them per sheet. So it's going to be the same width as my card base. So I make my first cut at 5.5, and then I cut at 1.5, and I can get 4 per sheet. And remember, you get 48 sheets in a packet. And you can pick any of the 4 prints to coordinate with or for this card. So we have that all defined. The card base I'm using, as I mentioned, is Real Red. It is 8.5 by 5.5, so you get 2 per 8.5 by 11 sheet. Now you can score this with your paper trimmer and scoring blade, or your simply scoring tool. I just meet up the corners and use my bone folder to crease it. I have this card designed with the fold on the top with this orientation, and then this the 1.5 inch strip is going to go right like this. I'm going to assemble that before we go to the decorative part of this card. So I'm going to put my adhesive on the back side. And as I mentioned, the beauty of this is you can use any of the coordinating colors, and you can use either side for this. Now I want this to be even on each edge, so I'm going to bring my paper trimmer in. I'm going to use the wall on my paper trimmer. I'm going to hold my card base up to the wall. Now I'm going to attach this so there's equal spacing on the top and bottom. And how I like to do this is hold on to it. You don't want to let go. It'll slip away from the wall. Then I'm going to hold this on an angle, and then I'm looking for equal spacing on both sides, and I'm having it so the adhesive doesn't touch until I'm good with my spacing. And then you can just flex that paper and have that go down, and then you have it aligned evenly here. If you're not happy with the alignment here, you can just trim that with your paper trimmer. I'm going to say it's good to go. Now I'm going to skip to the bottom measurement. I have a basic white cardstock for the inside sentiment, and I cut this at 4 1/4 by 3. The reason I do that is I can get 6 of these per 8.5 by 11 sheet, and I still have another strip left over. If I wanted to add an outside sentiment, I could use that. So I'm going to attach this. This is where you would add your inside sentiment and sign the card. So I'm going to attach this on the inside. And then for decorating this card, I'm going to add the penguin, but I'm also going to add a tree. The tree die that I am using is from the Merriest Trees die and stamp set. And this is in the annual catalog. It is on page 78, and it is the dies in the stamp set that coordinate together. And I like using the large tree for this image. Now you get multiple tree dies because you can cut each of these different tiers of this particular tree, and that's a detail that goes onto that. I'm going to use the largest one. I do want to mention to you that at the time of this recording, this die set is not available. I believe it's available the week of December 9th. So you could use another tree die if you chose. And this is the decorative tree dies. I believe that's the name of these. And these are in the mini catalog, and you just get one size die here, but you get all these decorative dies too. So either will work. As I mentioned, this will just have a smaller tree, and this will be the larger tree. Now, you will hopefully see in the camera that I have texturized this. What I do is I cut my tree out first. So I cut this out, and then I took the Snowflake Sky embossing folder. Now this embossing folder is a little over 6 by 6 in size, and it might be hard to see, but there's more dense snowflakes down at the bottom. So I'm going to place the tree towards the bottom and always have the logo side on the top folder. Place this down, run that through the die cutting machine, and then it's going to texturize the tree. I think it just adds a nice subtle design to that. So that is the tree that I'm going to add to this card. I chose white to have that snowy design to it. So I'm going to just adhere this off to the edge and place that down right like that. Now I'm going to add the penguin. On the designer series paper, you have one sheet that's just filled with penguins. I have cut one out with a circle here. Cut this one we're going to put on this card. We have 32 penguins on this page, and you get 2 pages per packet, so you have enough for 64 penguins. So as I mentioned, there are dies that you can purchase that coordinate with the stamp set and the designer series paper. But if you have a hat on your penguin, you're not going to be able to cut that out with the die. And so what I like to do with these is just take my paper snips and hold my paper snips, and I'm squeezing it to cut, but I'm moving the designer series paper, and I find I get the best results if I do that. Now the background on this designer series paper is Pool Party. And if you've watched previous videos that previous tutorials that I've cut images out, I always tell you that I layer these onto the same color as the background, meaning I would have pool party for the background. Well, I don't want a pool party tree, and one reason I chose white is it's closer to the color of this pool party, or I shouldn't say that. It's I really chose it because I like the white tree, but it's going to help camouflage any of my little imperfections. So I don't really think my imperfections are noticeable when I place them on the white cardstock. And I'm going to choose to attach this little penguin with my double-sided adhesive and just attach that here. And that's going to be my simple card. Now the beauty of paper crafting, you can add more. You can add a sentiment to this. You can change up your papers and use different prints, and you can create it and make it your own design. I hope you enjoyed this cute little card, and as I mentioned, it's a great way to make several holiday cards because you can get 64 out of one packet of the designer series paper. Now I do want to mention I have a PDF that you can download for this card. It will have all the supplies, the measurements, a link to this video, and it is one of my Stamp-A-Stack packets. I just recently had a Stamp-A-Stack, and if people attended in person with just order, they got packets free, and I'm offering that through the rest of November 2024, that you can receive some free packets. All the details are on the bottom of my blog post and the bottom of the text of the video. I hope you enjoyed this simple card. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Take care and happy creating.